The witch said I would be king. Wow.
That is only gonna make sense for those who sat through the entire Moonfall review. Everyone else
I
is
would
gonna be
pay
like,
to see Owen Wilson as Macbeth.
"Oh my god,
That would be like,
it's a
like, I swear
story.
there was a bird in here. Huh? Like, just...
It's a story told by an idiot." Sound and fury signifying nothing. Wow.
What if it was Owen Wilson as the witches in the movie? Double, double, boil and trouble. Wow.
Just make one of the other witches like Vince Vaughn.
The fuck are you doing? All right, we're having too much fun with this. Macbeth is good.
The tragedy of Macbeth, which is the
yes,
one of the Coen brothers directed.
Joel,
the Joel one, directing a Macbeth.
Joel Coen.
Joel Coen. This is where I'm at today.
Joel one? What the fuck?
Joel one. I forgot their last name for a minute. All right.
I just said it.
I'm having a hard time.
It's like it's a movie. It's like the Matrix Resurrections. It was directed by one of the Wachowski sisters. You know, the Lana one. Like,
it is not technically incorrect.
Not technically incorrect. I'm actually going to use that if I remember to from now on. That's a really funny way to refer to things. But yeah, so the Joel one
so
referred to
before somebody goes in the comments and points this out to me, I'm counting this as my technically movie of the year, yes. Which is like technically it was released in theaters in December in limited release, but also
super limited release,
but also technically the wide release is considered when it went on Apple TV, so that's the one I'm counting. That happened in January. Yeah. So that's what I'm working on.
Of course, we're like almost 2 months late on that now anyway, so whatever.
But you know what? We're seeing it now, and it's worth talking about because it's really fucking good. It's the best adaptation of Macbeth I've personally seen.
Yes, it is.
It's visually very stunning.
As a preface, I should make it known, generally, most of the time, I fucking hate Shakespeare. I really don't like Shakespeare. I don't like all of the writing trickery aside, like amazing gimmicks for his writing.
Yeah.
Language pioneer, sure. Made up a bunch of words of all the, words that are technically all made up. But the thing about it is, I don't like the plots of a lot of his stories. They're just like, they're like soap operas for medieval times. And like, kind of like a lot of them are kind of like lowbrow. I didn't really like Romeo and Juliet. I fucking hate Romeo and Juliet so much. And like, and the whole reason that I have trouble getting into movies like West Side Story and everything, it lies in the crux of the fact that they're based on shit like Romeo and Juliet. I don't fucking deal with that shit well. Out of the fake Shakespeare plays I've read, I will say I liked Othello and Hamlet just because they're like pulp stories. They're kind of ridiculous and crazy. And I kind of like that. But like King Lear, all that stuff, not my jam.
Like, I think I remember too much of Shakespeare. Like, I was in As You Like It in community college, and I did like a variation of King Richard III, which is basically just a bad director, shameless ripping off Game of Thrones.
Sure. But I will say that with that said about my feelings about this kind of stuff, this is not a short movie.
It's like an hour and a half, isn't it?
And no, this is like a 2-hour movie, right?
No, I think it's like an hour and 37.
Let me pull up IMDb. Oh, IMDb says 2021, man. We're fucked.
Again, technically.
Hour 45. Split the difference. Hour 45. Fine.
All right.
So hour and 45 minutes. It's not necessarily a short movie. It's not a long movie.
No.
But as someone who really fucking hates Shakespeare, when this movie was over, I wished there was more. Yeah. I wish it had been longer. And that's really the highest praise I can give a movie like this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I don't quite share your vitriol of Shakespeare. I don't hate him. I don't love him. I'm kind of neutral about Shakespeare.
It's just annoying, man.
Yeah, no, I mean like they're valid feelings. Like, but that means I think the only like Shakespeare movie I've been able to sit through all the way and maintain my attention was probably like the 1990s Hamlet, which like still holds up.
With Mel Gibson?
No, not with Mel Gibson. It had Kevin Kline and
I have to look it up.
I think it was like,
there's definitely more title matches. Come on, there have been more versions of Hamlet. Jesus Christ, there's so many versions of Hamlet.
It was the 1996 version.
Okay.
And that had Kenneth Branagh as Hamlet.
Okay, yeah. The Kenneth Branagh version. 1990, 1996, 2000, 2009 for a TV movie. Hamlet 2 in 2008.
That was a comedy.
It was a Steve Coogan comedy. I still haven't watched it. I think I should. It sounds fun. And I guess it was the 2015 one with Michael Fassbender.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's the National Theatre Live version of Hamlet with Benedict Cumberbatch, which was the one with Michael Fassbender.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Hamlet. Was it Macbeth? It might have been Macbeth.
Oh, right. Macbeth had Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, because remember I tried watching, I fell asleep.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Anyway,
this version is very good. Is where we're going with this. It is visually stunning. Denzel Washington is fantastic. It probably has and this is the one that's gone viral, so this shouldn't be too surprising, but it probably has the best short action sequence I've seen in a Shakespeare movie. With that duel he has towards the end.
Yeah, no, that was really interesting and exciting. Oh, no. Yeah, the 2015 Hamlet was directed by the same guy who did Assassin's Creed. So
that's why.
That's unfortunate. Anyway, yeah. So the thing about this movie that I found really striking was that they're still reciting, the Hamlet's, not the Hamlet, the Shakespeare soliloquies and stuff.
Yeah.
These same ruminations on, mankind and humanity and your purpose and ethics and all that stuff. But the way that it's delivered by the actors is the closest I've ever felt to that dialogue being delivered in a realistic way. Which it actually does feel, it's delivered so naturally from everybody. And, Denzel Washington is still definitely Denzel Washington as Macbeth instead of just embodying Macbeth. But it's really interesting to see Denzel Washington's particular brand of just intensity and muttering madness harnessed for Macbeth.
Well, and it's convincing. Work very, very well though. It is still very his interpretation of that character.
No, that's what I'm saying. It works really well as a fit for the role. And Frances McDormand is just,
she can do no wrong. I'm at that point with her.
She's amazing. She's amazing in this role.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I generally am turned off by when it comes to interpretations of Hamlet is generally I see Lady Macbeth portrayed as this craized, power-hungry mad woman who's just you have to do this. You have to fucking kill him. You gotta be kidding. You gotta fucking do it. You fucking pussy, kill him. Just but this is Frances McDormand just look, you gotta do this. This just makes sense. This is your opportunity. She really does feel like just someone who's obsessed with it, but not crazy. It actually feels like she's kind of supporting him through this idea, even though she's really pushing him along towards it too. Yeah. And I love that additional balance for it. It really works.
Yeah, for sure. And the way it does have some very unique ideas. And that is one thing of Shakespeare plays is the fact there are so many different ways to do it and so many different ways to interpret how the dynamics work that is probably the most fun you can have with it. And that's why you can have so many different adaptations of it because there's still so many ways to play with it. And that especially goes into play here because I'm thinking largely of everything to do with the witches in this movie is very, very unique. Compared to
anything
else.
Contortionist lady.
Yeah, like contortionist lady, and like I was like, she's technically 3 in 1, but you can only see the other two like in reflections and stuff. And the way they do like the prophecies,
Well,
and
the one where they're perched above the pool, they do show up.
But even then, that still has like the pool imagery
but,
and like cupping like the vision in your hand kind of thing,
yeah.
and all these really cool
that was
ideas.
so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
I don't think we're everything away
because
it's Macbeth. If you need Macbeth spoiled for you, I don't know what to tell you.
Sure. Spoiler alert: he dies in the end. Ooh. But like, that's not even a spoiler for Macbeth. That's just spoiler for Shakespeare in general. So, but the person that got to play the witches, it definitely falls into the where the fuck did they find this person kind of category.
Yep.
Like she, you look at pictures of her, like normally she's just a normal human being, but what she embodies as the witches is so unsettling and like borderline like humanoid instead of being actually human.
Yeah,
she really strikes you as something not of this world,
for sure. Yeah. And it has such a great use of minimalistic environment and setting to really create this very interesting build-up. And it's interesting when you go back and realize actually a lot of it was CGI. Like I saw some behind the scenes stuff of how they kind of like tiled it all together. Yeah, like look at it. It's actually very interesting.
Because I know it was all filmed on a soundstage, but I was going to say that it's interesting how they did it, because the way that it's like put together, there are scenes where like that opening scene where he first meets the witches and they're all just shrouded in fog. I thought that was a really interesting way to use a minimalist set and just focus the scene just on them. And the way the shots are blocked, like the use of the 4:3 frame is really interesting. And the way that they utilize the construction of the scenes, like there are shots that straight up look like they're out of a storybook. Like it has this sort of dark fairy tale feel. And then there's shots where, especially of the castle, where it's just this really clean, brutalist architecture. It's just like sharp edges and tall rooms for no reason, and really, really angular geometry. And it seems very plain, but at the same time, the way that all of it is constructed and structured and shot makes for a weirdly interesting surrealist tone to the whole movie.
Yeah. Whereas it almost kind of feels like the small people playing at these big games.
And all of this combined just makes for a really unique, compelling experience. Like the whole time I was captivated by this. Which is a lot for me and a Shakespeare movie.
For sure. I think my favorite tweets I've seen about this movie is like, man, I just watched Denzel Washington like kick somebody's ass in like history class today. It's like, oh yeah, we also saw the tragedy of Macbeth in my classroom too. Because like, no, you're right.
Like, no, he was our sub. Like,
fuck yeah, man.
That'd be hilarious. Just fucking training day for this whole classroom. Just like
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Man, but
anyway, like
this was
a very masterclass interpretation of Macbeth, and everything about it supports this familiar yet unique take on it. That feels just fresh enough to stick in your mind, and I think it's going to stand out in the test of time as against many other Macbeth adaptations come before or since. It has unique minimalistic style. It has fantastic performances all around. Oh, go ahead.
I think one of the really interesting things about it is that, like Joel Cohen decided to, he had this idea, like, what can we make in a quarantine environment, which is relatively small, relatively like we can't go to a bunch of locations. What if we just have a small cast, small crew, and just do this as minimalist as possible? And yet somehow managed to, as a veteran, legendary filmmaker, managed to pull together something that was still felt epic in personal scale, and really just pulled together an amazing cast of people. And made a lot of really amazing creative choices to make something that is a masterclass just in filmmaking in general, like how to really utilize certain, like all the different elements. Like you can talk about, how he edited down the story, like writing and all of that. You can talk about the cinematography and the casting and the weird little choices, the like you said, with the pool and stuff, like all of these little things that he chose to do throughout this movie add up to this overall experience. And it's really worth studying. Like it's such a compelling vision from something that is so well worn. And I just, that's something so commendable about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add to that I haven't already said.
No, not really. I mean, if you have Apple TV Plus, go for it. If you don't have Apple TV Plus, there's enough interesting stuff on there to be worth like, $5 a month for a little while. Just there's a free trial.
You mean my Ted Lasso watching machine? Yes.
Yes, exactly. Ted Lasso alone is worth paying $5 a month for forever. But
and honestly, there's enough like free trials of Apple TV going around that you can honestly just get one and apply to your account and you're good for like 6 months.
I don't know. They probably have it tied per account.
No, they don't
speak on that.
No, they don't.
They don't?
Because I got like 6 months free Apple TV with when I bought my PS5, and they just let me slap it on my account.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was part of the bundle I got. So I was able to slap that onto my account, and I'm good for like till middle of this year.
All right. Well then, very cool. But if somehow you don't manage to get some of that stuff figured out, still totally worth paying $5 a month for.
Yeah.
So
absolutely
give it a shot. Yeah, this movie, tip top, just really shocking how good it was.
Yeah, I would not be willing to catch up on this movie well over a month after it came out if it wasn't worth your time. So
yeah. I'm glad I poked you to do it, because
me too.
It was not on the list.
It was not on the list. So yeah,
I'm glad we did.
We're finally caught up. Holy shit. So I think for this week we have like Cyrano is one of them. Mm-hmm. That's another technically, because I don't know if it came out anywhere when it came out, like in December. Did it? We already saw Dog. Oh, Studio 666 is out this week. That's the other one.
Oh yeah, I'm down for that. Let's do that.
I've had a feeling you would be. So yeah, we can go do that.
Yeah, I feel like that might also be the kind of thing that Matt's into. So maybe ask him to.
Yeah, I'm sure Matt. I know Matt's been down to hang out lately, so I can just ask him like, "Hey, buddy, do you want to see this rock and roll horror show?"
Fuck yeah. If he hasn't seen the trailer, just send him the trailer and be like,
"Do you want to watch this?"
Yeah.
And then I think the other one is I'm gonna start trying to integrate more streaming movies into our reviews, since there's kind of precedent for it.
Sure.
So there's
enough going on.
There's also a new Medea movie on Netflix right now. I'm not making anyone watch that.
Why is that the streaming movie you choose when they're a good movie? Like, we still haven't seen Power of the Dog, dude.
That's a 2020. That one I can't really make it technically for, but like I was gonna say this.
Fine, but like I'm saying, there's so many good streaming movies that have come out, and you want to do a Medea movie?
I said we're not doing it. That was my whole point of that.
Oh, we're not. Oh, okay, sorry.
So before you jump down my throat, I'm not just. We've done our time with Medea. All right, we don't need to do more.
You've done your time,
and I don't feel like putting Grant through another one. So, I think that was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think I would be down to watch a Medea movie as long as I have Grant to watch during the Medea movie, because I can just imagine how much pain he would be going through, and that's my kind of Schadenfreude.
See, that was one of the worst experiences.
I love watching people experience bad movies. That's why I've shown Robin Hood to like 4 different groups of people.
The theater experience is worse because it's just 2 white people in the front and just an audience laughing. Oh, there you go. I lost you for a second. And then it's just me and Grant in the front and just like everyone laughing behind us. And we're just like, what the fuck are you laughing about?
I'm losing faith in humanity. No, I this is why I've shown Robin Hood to 4 different groups of people. This is why I own Robin Hood.
That's why I earned Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. I get it.
There you go. No, there you go. So yeah, no, we get
like
it works.
My whole point to that was like we should probably watch the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre because that's the one everyone's talking about.
I have watched it.
How is it?
It is a horror movie that does what it's supposed to, and if you don't expect it to reinvent the wheel, it's totally easy to have a perfectly decent horror movie time with it.
Okay, so maybe you and I will review that then.
It's not exceptional, but it's better than, look for this way, it's better than Halloween Kills by a long shot.
All right, that's a pretty low bar, but yeah, all right. So we'll figure it out.
There is an actual massacre scene in the movie that had me grinning.
Okay. So maybe
you see it coming a mile away, but when it finally happens, you're like, yeah.
All right, so I think that's all we got for this one. Thank you guys for following through in this review binge. I'm gonna release like one a day to space it out. But thank you all for watching. See you later.
Content.
Bye. Like and subscribe.